My wife joked, tiny performance from a tiny man, in front of her friends. What I did next left her speechless. I'd been learning to cook for about 6 months. Nothing fancy, just basic stuff from YouTube videos. My wife Jessica had always been the cook in our house, and honestly, she was amazing at it. So when I started trying to help out in the kitchen, I was definitely not on her level. Last month, I decided to surprise Jessica by making dinner for her book club. 8 women coming over to our house, and I wanted to contribute instead of just hiding in the garage like usual. I made sliders, little beef sliders with cheese and homemade sauce. Took me 3 hours to get everything ready. I was actually pretty proud of them. They looked decent, tasted good when I tried one. When Jessica's friends arrived, I brought out the tray of sliders like I was presenting a masterpiece. The women were all being polite, saying things like how cute and oh, how sweet, but I could tell from their faces they weren't that impressed. Jessica picked one up, took a tiny bite, and then looked at her friend Monica. She laughed and said loud enough for everyone to hear, tiny performance from a tiny man. All her friends cracked up. Monica added something about how it was adorable that I tried. Another friend Sarah said her husband couldn't even work the microwave, so this was impressive for a guy. I just stood there holding the empty tray feeling like an idiot. Jessica didn't even look at me. She just kept laughing with her friends about my little sliders and my little effort. I went back to the kitchen and heard them talking about how men always expect praise for doing the bare minimum. How Jessica does gourmet meals every week and nobody throws her a parade. They weren't wrong exactly, but it still felt awful. I'd spent hours on those sliders, watched 4 different videos to get the sauce right, but to them it was just this cute little thing the husband did, a tiny performance. That night after everyone left, I didn't say anything to Jessica about it. She was in a great mood, talking about how fun her book club was. I just nodded and cleaned up the kitchen, but I was angry. Not screaming angry, just this quiet determination. If she thought sliders were a tiny performance, I'd show her what I was actually capable of. The next morning, I called my buddy Dave, who's a professional chef. Told him I needed to learn real cooking, not just YouTube basics. He agreed to teach me, but said I had to commit. Early morning lessons 3 times a week before work. I said yes immediately. For the next 2 months, I barely slept. I'd wake up at 5 in the morning and go to Dave's restaurant. He taught me knife skills, how to build flavors, proper techniques for everything. I practiced at home when Jessica was at work, bought ingredients with my own money, filled notebooks with recipes and notes. Jessica had no idea. She thought I'd given up on cooking after the slider incident. I'd occasionally make simple stuff like pasta or sandwiches, nothing that would raise suspicion. Then Jessica's birthday came around in December. She wanted to have a dinner party, invited the same book club friends plus a few couples, told me we should just cater it from that Italian place she likes. I said I had a better idea. I'd cook everything. She literally laughed in my face. Babe, remember the sliders? Let's just order food. We don't need another tiny performance. That tiny performance comment again. I told her to trust me. She was skeptical but agreed, probably because it would save money. The day of the party, I kicked Jessica out of the kitchen at noon, told her to go get ready and stay out until guests arrived. I cooked for 6 straight hours. Homemade butternut squash soup with brown butter and sage, pan-seared scallops with lemon butter sauce, herb-crusted lamb chops with roasted vegetables, risotto made from scratch, chocolate lava cakes for dessert, restaurant quality plating on every dish. When the guests arrived, Jessica kept trying to peek in the kitchen. I wouldn't let her. Serve the soup first. The entire table went quiet after the first taste. Monica looked at Jessica with wide eyes. Did you make this? Jessica shook her head, looking confused. I made it, I said from the doorway. Then I brought out each course one by one, explained every dish like I was on a cooking show, the techniques I used, where I learned them, how long I'd been training. Jessica's face went from confused to shocked to something I couldn't quite read. Her friends couldn't stop complimenting the food. Sarah's husband literally asked if I'd consider catering his work event. When I brought out the chocolate lava cakes, perfectly molten in the center, Monica turned to Jessica. You said he made sliders. This is incredible. Jessica just sat there speechless. After everyone left, she found me in the kitchen doing dishes. Why didn't you tell me you were learning to cook? Her voice was quiet. I kept washing a pan. You called it a tiny performance from a tiny man. I wanted to show you what a real performance looked like. She started crying. Not sad crying, embarrassed crying. Said she was sorry, that she didn't mean to belittle what I did, that she was showing off in front of her friends and made me feel small. I told her the sliders were a tiny performance. She was right about that, but I wasn't going to stay tiny. If I was going to do something, I was going to do it right. Now I cook dinner 3 times a week. Jessica brags about it to everyone. Her friends ask for recipes, but I'll never forget that moment at her birthday dinner when the woman who mocked my sliders sat speechless watching me serve restaurant quality food. Best revenge is proving them wrong.